Hello, this is Daniel Veillon with the Daniel Veillon Gazette pod. I was just thinking to myself as I was preparing, and I have this notebook right here. Five-star need 5-star notebook. That I believe me and my parents got at Walmart when I was going to college. And I just wrote down, so I was thinking to myself, what do I want to talk about during sports season to build up to talk about my main topic? And I thought, my favorite thing to watch, even though I was never really a big football fan, my favorite thing to watch has always been halftime because I understood more when I would watch them talk about the game. So I always liked the halftime and the post game reports. So whether it's NBA, MLB, or NFL, for the sports segments, for the NBA base, for the pro basketball, pro baseball, and pro football segments, I'll be talking about the halftime reports of the games as well as the post game reports, and I'll even do that for college sports like basketball and baseball. And if by chance I happen to see college hockey, I'll even do I'll even talk about the college hockey games too. NHL or college hockey, let me restate that. I just said I would talk about college hockey. Let me restate that part. I've never seen college hockey before, so I don't know if they do halftime or if they do intermission like NHL. So if by chance college hockey is like professional hockey, then I'll do intermission reports about both college hockey, if I see the games, and professional hockey games. Right. I said the other day how every time I see something important happen in that hockey game I was watching, I'd always rewind it about 30 seconds, and then I would press pause, press the fast forward button, and I would see what happened, and I was like, not only does it help me see what the score, how it was scored, it helps me see when it was saved. So I just thought I'd share that in case some people may not like hockey, but they may think that it's interesting, but it's hard to follow. So if you have DVR, I would press pause and I would press fast forward. Because ever since I've been a kid, that's been what's helped me see things that I may have never realized before. So that's what I would suggest to do if you have a hard time watching a sport, but you really want to see it out of curiosity. Well, I don't know if this would work for anybody else, but it's always worked for me. If it's hard for you to understand without seeing, then pausing it and putting it in slow motion may be the best way to understand it because that was always the best way for me to understand things. Football was always a little easier to understand to a degree. Like it was easy to understand when I would follow the rules in the NFL, no matter how different the rules got. It was always simple enough to understand what a yard was. And then when you got to 4 yards, we knew that the touchdown was on the way. So football was easier to understand to a degree because how my mom explained it to me. Baseball, I used to see my cousins play baseball. I was always a fan of baseball, because I used to watch my cousins play. But becoming a fan of professional baseball, I can tell you, it's just as fun as watching my cousins play when they were either kids or teenagers. So baseball is just really fun for me to watch. I just enjoy it. Now, I will say this: baseball, even though I like to watch the game and I do like to see whatever their break show is, because baseball too is different than football and basketball. Whereas football and basketball have four periods or quarters, and it's halftime because two out of four is done in pro basketball and hockey and pro football and basketball. Baseball is different in the sense that a lot of times you have to wait until the fifth inning, fourth inning maybe, before you see a break in the game. So that's why I wanted to share this, because I was just thinking about how long it may take. Now, yes, I do understand there's off-season reports, but there's some things I really don't know that's really important. Because for me personally, watching the game and talking about it is what's really important to me. So, although I will keep y'all updated by on the news of football and hockey when the season's over, I'm not gonna know right away how to talk about it. So I need some advice from my mom or my brother or my sister-in-law to really help me understand what news are really important to share. I would have to share. I would have to merely keep up with news about my favorite team and my mom's favorite team and my brother and sister-in-law's favorite teams. So that would stretch it out even more. So I'm barely excited about that. Just thought I would share that before I look at it. I look at um, NXT from from the 2 nights after um, tonight's after all Rumble. Excuse me. Now, this is unusual because they usually use Peacock um to look up. It's very important to this episode, and it's very important to I don't know why. I don't know. This is going to be both the Daniel Veillon Gazette pod and the be uploaded to know what, never mind about that. Wanted to look at wanted to see one of the classic shows to see what would really be a good hmm. All right, so I was hoping they had Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling. That was only episodes they have up here. Just a few years before WrestleMania existed, so I'm gonna start right there. And what I liked about Mid Atlantic and Mid South and all those classic shows was they had the television title. Hmm. If anybody could help me understand this, they said I needed to disable the ad blocker to enjoy this video. I liked about the Mid Atlantic promotion, the the Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling logo, and on screen a clip from another. Hold on. Then they showed a clip from a match. Then they showed a map and put them all together. They put Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling name in black and white. Put that on the far left. Okay. David Crockett. They were talking about the Ron Bass being the new TV champion, Outlaw Ron Bass. All right. I also mentioned Wahoo McDaniel and Roddy Piper. And as I recall, this had to do with Abdullah the Butcher, Wahoo McDaniel, and Roddy Piper. I remember watching this with my uncle a few months before he died, and I remember thinking this was good. This was good work from them because it looked more believable than a lot of what you see today. Yeah, they said that this was going to be an edited version. What happened the week before? Because for people that may not have seen it, it would be too much to show the full thing. And it was Right Piper who caused it, so that's why they feel the need to talk about it, because anytime Right Piper was involved, a riot was going to happen. So out comes Ron Bass with this championship. He said thank you to Bob Cottle for congratulating him. He said, I want to come out here, show the people that I was fortunate enough to gain this title. And because it's the television title, he said that it's the people's title. So that's why he feels fortunate enough to win it. Said he's going to be thinking about nothing but the audience. That I'm hoping that I can be the champion that people can be proud of. That you all want to come and see. They're also talking about Ricky Steamboat coming back and Jake Roberts being there. Sergeant Slaughter's first appearance in Mid Atlantic was in this episode. That I know of, anyway. The Super Destroyer, he was the masked man, and he was gonna team up with the Grappler. And the Grappler, I don't know how many people know this, but he's the reason the DDT was invented. And I had his mask signed a few years ago. It's in the house somewhere. So if anybody does not know what the DDT out was invented, watch Jake the Snake Roberts DVD called Pick Your Poison. That'll say all you need to know. Jay Youngblood and I think Ricky Steamboat were tag partners by this time. They may have been facing Steamboat and Jay Youngblood. I'm not sure. That's going to be interesting. Right. I'm going to pause this and hit replay so that, or whatever it is, you press the button and it restarts the web. This is the best part of this show is they showed from the beginning that these are matches that were pre-taped for them to talk about. And there was a man from state of Georgia that weighed 260 pounds or 240 pounds. And his name is Jim Nelson. His partner from Louisiana at 240 pounds is Mike Miller. Louisiana was is my home state, so I know a little bit about. Actually, I know a lot about Louisiana. Okay, their opponents in this match at this time were not Steamboat. Steamboat was not tag team partners with that Youngblood. He was Jay Youngblood, that is. He was taking partners with Jake Roberts, who was wearing a cowboy hat and a jacket. And instead of wearing pants like he usually did, he wore regular short tights. Ricky Steamboat weighed about 235 pounds. And Jake Roberts weighed about, hold on. Oh, and they announced Ricky Steamboat as being from Hawaii. and Ricky Steamboat wasn't 240 pounds. Jake the Snake Roberts was. This was a one fall. I don't think it said 50. I think it said 15-minute time limit. I have to play it just to hear that the right way. The way we can both potentially hear. Yeah, that was 15-minute time limit that was announced. As I'm waiting for the advertisement to finish, I'll say this. Do I think wrestling can get back to the days when you had time limits? Well, that's not something that I need to think about at the moment, but I think it would be a shame if they didn't try to do that down the line because the lack of time limits, the lack of structure on screen with the matches that cause a lot of people to not want to see wrestling in the first place. So I don't know if they can do time limits again, but I think it'd be a shame not to do it because it's just like watching a sport. Basketball has about 11 minutes or 12 minutes in a game. Football has 15 minutes. Baseball, they never had an official time clock in baseball. They have a pitch clock now, but never a time, but never a time clock like they have in basketball or football. So, and even hockey has like a 20-minute interval. So, I think using I think using an interval like that for each match is, even though it may be seen as outdated, it's very necessary because people are tired of it just being a show with they want I think a lot of fans want the old school mentality of there's got to be a reason they're fighting. Don't have them fight just to fight. Even because when you watch, even though it's a legitimate sport, when you watch MMA or boxing or kickboxing or amateur wrestling or karate or martial arts, anything like that, there is a purpose for fighting. It's not just to fight. They're going to eventually win a championship of some kind, or in karate, going to eventually win a belt. And, you know, things of that nature. So I really don't have the luxury of thinking about time limits, but if I was still interested down the road to learn how to book a show, then I would book it and I'd want to do time limits so that people will remember this isn't just a show. This is a show. This Even though it's a show about fighting, and you want to see who's the better man that night to go in the rankings. That's why rankings are very important. When you use rankings the right way and you use a ranking system the right way, it makes people care. So if I was really interested in booking, I would look into what it means into using time limits in the first place. Only be interested in the creative side of wrestling, not the on-screen side. On-screen side, that is. Anybody who may want to get on the creative side of things, but you don't want to be a writer. You just want to know what it's like to book the old school way. I would go to Memphis Championship Wrestling and I would ask them to train you to be a booker because they are the only company I know that trains their men and potentially women on how to book a show. I just thought I'd share that with y'all because I read that if you try to teach people things on your YouTube channel, it's usually gets them more interested in what you're talking about. So they go back to the show to this telecast for a second. Let's see the match as it happens. They go Ricky Steamboat and Mike Miller do the old school test of strength. Steamboat gets out of it, rolls around, puts him in an armbar, takes him down. Let's see, Miller gets in the rope. He has to break as Mike tags in his tag partner. Irish whip jumps on his stomach, run over, leapfrog by Ricky Steamboat, then a drop kick, then arm drag into an armbar. Holds the wrist lock. Ooh. Jake Roberts comes in with a quick hit right underneath his arm. Does almost like a leapfrog. It's over his back, turns around, gives Miller's tag partner hold on, scoop slam, I believe. Yeah, scoop slam, knee lift. Gets up from that though. Gets in the corner though. He's got to hold off. Let's see. Lock up. Full Nelson by Jake Snapmare into a cover one. Kick out. Okay. Miller gets tagged back in. Let's see. Jake and Ricky are talking about what they want to do now in the corner. Okay, Jake walks around. Let's see. Lock up. Actually, single leg takedown works after the left leg of Miller. Tags in Steamboat, jumps over. Ooh. Kicks the left knee of Miller, it looked like. Ooh. Goes after the knee. Okay. Does a double leg drop over it. He's working over the left leg, but Miller's trying to get him to break the hold. Couple of forearms, it looks like. Ooh. Gets up, he goes back over the. Now it looks like he's going for the hamstring area. It looks like he's going for either a leg submission or a pin attempt here. Only gets a 2 count though. Standing up again, he gets pushed off by Miller. He evades the attempt to a monkey flip, I think is what Miller was going for. He stands up.